So I guess, let me know if it turns out that that is something amazing, in which case maybe we can go back on some future occasion and make a point of trying to get it. But at this point in time, it is unlootable. It's just, like I said, there's a bug that we've had on a few occasions now where we just are not able to pick up things when they're underwater sometimes. And saving and reloading the game in the past has been the answer, but on that occasion it was not working. Who is that guy? So, at the moment, there isn't really an answer. But if it's really good, then we can make more of a point to try loading and reloading several times over. Have we seen you before? What are you doing here?
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Awesome. I think we protected you guys from pirates in this area when we were first here. Yeah, that's what I mean, is I'm not going to reload 50 times over right now unless people are like, yes, it's totally worth it. In which case, maybe we will. Oh, there are some traders right here. In which case, this might be exactly the thing we were saying we wanted to do.
Show me what you have in stock.
Have an opportunity to offload some of our heavy equipment. Stuff that's not super significant to us to use right now, but does theoretically have a little bit of monetary value. Like, for example, these gloves seem like they're significantly worse than what we currently have, but they weigh a fair bit. Let's dump them. These gloves, maybe slightly better, but still definitely not as good as our current pair. Dump those two. Trousers, way worse. Let's dump those. These gloves looks like we should hold on to. You could make a case that these are actually even better than our current gloves. Lower armor, yes. But some other interesting things on them that could be worthwhile. Let's keep those for the time being. These pants, let's also dump. And these pants, let's also dump. These boots, seems like overall our boots are just generally not great, but these boots that we could potentially swap into are also not great, so I don't think there's much reason to hold on to them. Theoretically, we could potentially make a little more off these sales if we were to sell them to a specialist, so to speak. So maybe we hold off making other sales for the time being. Just do enough to make it so that we're not at our limit right now, so that we can still pick up more things. Like, if we're going on treasure hunts, then we're gonna want to have, obviously, some inventory space to hold the things that we're looting. So we could say, go to, like, for example, look at Mid-Cops. Does not appear to have a trader. Even though there's a grindstone and armorer's table, there's no blacksmith. Hold on. Hold on, Mid-Cops. We have to talk. Is that really true? You have the materials for blacksmith, and yet you don't have a blacksmith? I find that hard to believe. There's a normal merchant.
Geralt,
You were not showing up
thanks for everything.
on the map, so maybe there actually is... Yeah, there actually is an armor. Okay, so theoretically...
safe unless you got a Gabrielle.
Theoretically, you are the person to sell things to.
Gabrielle ensures you get the first shot and the last word.
So,
Let me have a look at your stock.
let's sell whatever remaining armor we might want to sell to this guy instead. Make a little bit more that way. Like this, for example. Lower armor by a pretty significant amount. However, the Igni sign intensity and significantly higher resistances of other varieties, maybe you could still make a case for this, especially since it has 2 slots. And therefore, if you could put on something that was also useful, then maybe it could start to surpass our current hunting boots, which are rather boring, but have relatively high armor. But this is terrible. Except for piercing damage, but is extremely valuable for some reason. So let's sell it, I guess. This also doesn't look great. This does have more vitality than our current armor, but is otherwise worse. I think we sell this. Also bear in mind our current chestplate has low durability. We could fix that up now, but that means that some of these comparisons, we should be eyeing what the relative durability is as well. Here, they're both more or less equally beat up. Let's sell that. Those gloves we were saying were decent. Okay, so the other reason why we wanted to make a point of making it over to one of these people, I have something highlighted here. I'm not sure what it was. But the other reason why we wanted to go to one of these people was because we have picked up a few crafting options here. And we are now a high enough level that we might be able to make some decent gear. And so for that reason, it might not make sense to repair gear if we're about to replace some. Let's just take a look at what some of our options here are. There's a level 7 option here that is, well, still definitely not as good as our current armor. So level 24 one, not so surprisingly, would be. But okay, I'm surprisingly not that impressed with our chest armor options. Let's see if there's anything else that could be worth pursuing. Gauntlets, maybe? No. We can make junk. Oh boy. Looking forward to it. Pants. The trousers. Even the level 9 stuff. Still not better. A little surprised. Boots now. These are, well, still not better. Definitely not better. Slightly better for one thing. And then we're back over to chest armor now. So yeah, I'm a little surprised. I think we have better stuff for weapons. This guy is specifically an armor crafter.
So long.
Geralt, not impressed. So is there a blacksmith here as well? We can, I suppose, reuse these. I thought that was, there we go. Something we could use, and is there also a blacksmith here? You would think you'd be near the whetstone, but he isn't. So the answer may be no. So, I mean, we accomplished some of our objectives there. We sold some gear to someone who would pay a little bit more for them, but also, of course, would be great if we could make it to a craftsperson who's capable, ideally, making us a better sword. That's the main quest we're seeing there. Let's take another look now at some of the treasure hunts that we can do. Oh, that is not how you do that, though. So... oh, no, that was the right page. Go treasure hunts. What would be next? Probably this level 11 one and Griffin School. Where was this? I thought we saw that this was one of the ones we checked earlier, and it is not nearly as far away as we might have originally thought. It is... over this way. Oh yeah, this is the one that's near Downward and Rearden Manor. Yeah, so I think what we ought to do is go for this one next. Maybe teleport to Downwarren. And technically the most time efficient thing to do would probably be to do the main quest in Downwarren and then go do the treasure hunt. Feels a little weird doing that, because obviously the main quest will have more things to come after that, and so it'll be easy to get pulled into that and continue to go the main quest. So I'm tempted to teleport to Downwarren, and then instead of talking immediately to those people there that we're supposed to talk to for the main quest, instead beeline it for the treasure hunt. Maybe even continue on into the woods. Check out this little hut here and see if that's anything as well. And then maybe we double back, maybe we go a little bit north and see what this question mark is all about, in which case, at that rate, we'd probably head back on up to Lindenvale, and then maybe from there we teleport to Down Warren and then do the main quest. But either way, I think the answer is we go here. Oh, we are not currently at a fast travel location, even though I'm standing directly in front of one. I did not actually opt to use it. Silly me. So, I'm saying we go here. And we completely ignore there are some people here who would like to speak to us. And instead, we go this way. There are more merchants. Is tempting, yes. Are you just a generic merchant? Also, it might be nighttime based on how it appears to be dark all of a sudden and there may not be anyone outside. We could theoretically meditate and take a day. That might not be a bad idea. I was hearing some people say that that was a strategy that they often use. Just make it a little easier on yourself. Yeah, I don't know if time passes actually when we do the fast travel. That may be the case. It does also allow us to restore some of our potions which we may have used a long time ago. Okay, it just generally makes it easier to see around here as well. That's not a bad thing either. So it is way up, elevation-wise. Is it at the top of this peak here? It might be. Now, there is a level requirement for this treasure hunt, of course, which to me suggests that at some point we're going to run into some monsters. Can we scale this? No. The answer is no. Well, there was a place of power here. Oh, I do remember. At the very top was actually a place of power. Okay. That sounds familiar. Huh? Okay. Someone was hiding some monies in the tree stump. Okay. I feel like there might be something over there. In that little clearing. Obviously there are wolves over there. Let's, at least for the moment, try to stay focused on the task at hand, unless if something is just blatantly in front of us we want to check out. Huh. And I think our quest marker, or our personal marker, is currently on the wrong place, so ignore the green indicator you were seeing previously. Now it is. We should be on the right place, and it's a monster den? It would seem. How do we actually get up there, though? Let's try to find an angle. Ideally, can we make it up this? Yes? Okay. I think we're past the worst of it now. Although we may not actually have had to climb this. Down there-ish? Okay. Can't really see from here what exactly it is. What? Dragon Slayer's Grotto? Oh, we were getting ourselves into just a monster den. That sounds far more intimidating. Okay. I suppose it's the Dragon Slayers, not the dragons themselves. Ooh, and there is a fast travel location here. This is nifty. What is that sound? Is the wolves? It sounded like something much heavier than that, briefly. I don't know, but either way, there is...
Might want to look around some.
I believe a sign of the Griffin School, given how this is supposed to be a Griffin School location. Griffin School armor, at least. And that's a wraith. So, presumably we're going to want to have, what, Jordan up? Yeah, sure. Several of them, potentially. Ow. Stop beating me up. Just step in the earth. Allow us to take you out. And yeah, drop some good loot too. That's also fine. So I do like that we have a fast travel location here, which would normally be a pretty difficult place to get to, I would think. Here is another wraith. I was going to say, this looks like a little side area of sorts. Usually, would mean there might be good stuff in here. However, might also mean that we're getting ourselves into some additional fights, of course. Dimeridium. I think it was worth it, yeah. That would help a little bit. Make it easier to see in here. Oh, more wraiths. If it's just a bunch of level 7 wraiths like this, then I don't think it'd be too bad for us. I think this quest was technically listed as level 12, so I wouldn't be surprised if we had 1 or 2 more that were a little tougher than that. Superior insectoid oil. That could be good. That's not terribly helpful, though. Ooh. Huh? Oh. Lots of stuff in here. Also, that. Come on. Leshen decoction. Okay. Gnomish, Barkier, and Dwarven Blade. I think we've seen Dwarven Blade before. It was good once upon a time. I think it mostly depends what level this iteration will be. That'll be the determining factor as to whether this one is worthwhile. Plenty of mushrooms as well. Ooh, sapphire dust. Sounds nifty. We light this up as well. Let's do that. I mean, probably would have been more helpful if we'd done that initially. I think that is just about everything in here. Ooh, well, not in this previous room. Wow, elemental essence. Okay, I think that's pretty good too. Yeah, we're getting lots of stuff in here. This seems like this is a very lucrative treasure hunt here. Compare this to some of the other ones we had. Silver. And this has already been several times more lucrative, I think. And that stuff, of course, is largely junk. We did offload a bit of weight here. Let's just do a quick check. Oh, we have plenty of room. Okay. If we do start to pick up some heavy stuff, then we might become a little bit challenged to hold it all, but at the moment, we seem fine. One moment, please, while I pick up these mushrooms. Then we'll fight you. You just do this. Oh, we don't have the stamina to do it. I was gonna say, can we just, like, not wait for you to come back into the Igni Circle? Or rather, the Yrden Circle? Expedite the process by using Igni? That sounded like a different sound. Like a not great sound. We might have a little more variation in the types of enemies we face. This is clearly something we can break open. Make sure we have everything in here first. This also looks breakable, except I don't think it is. Because I don't see any sign on the map suggesting that we can go through that area, whereas there is such a sign here. And there's a wraith to greet us as well. Now, how dare you attack us before we can get this Yrden down? Okay, excuse me? There we go, thank you. That was the first time I did a strong attack there in about, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. Also, more friends. Actually dealing a lot of damage, surprisingly. Let's make sure we get some food. What just happened? Slowing me down? That's not cool. I'll tell you what we do to people who slow us down. Infused dust? Have we been getting that from the other specters and wraiths we've been fighting as well? I don't know, but starting to accumulate a fair bit of those other materials. Oh, that is, okay, dangerous stuff. don't know how long it lasts when we try to push the dust clouds away, or smoke clouds away like that. And it's going to be even more challenging if we're also simultaneously fighting wraiths. That could pose a bit of an issue. I was really hoping that would come up on you. Oh, ow, ow. I was kind of under the impression that we had taken you out there. I was mistaken, and here the smoke is back. Is still the loot from fighting you? Okay, there we go. Yeah, it really does not want to go away. I would love if that were the end of all that stuff. That sounds like a necker. This also looks like the end of this area, so I'm going to save just in case, because it seems like if there is a powerful enemy in here, this would likely be it. How do we get up there, though? What's the thing? Like, I would like to go over this ledge, perhaps? If not, you know, go halfway and then stop. What the heck? Did not expect things to open up this much. Tell you that much. This reminds me now of the cave in which we were tracking down the wild hunt. Kira, ways back. Oh, that is... I recognize that name. That is a vampire. We were reading about those guys previously. Hold on one moment while I read quickly what we are supposed to do to fight these guys, because this is our first time actually fighting one. We've heard about them, but not yet fought them. So it should be under vampire, I believe. I believe it's its own category? Yes, okay. The answer is Igni, Vampire Oil, of course, and Devil's Puffball. I think we upgraded our Devil's Puffball recently. Let's see what, if anything, we can do about that then. Oh, it's up here, right. Necrophage, no. Insectoid, no. Elementa, no. Hangman's, I think. Humans and non-humans. This is a versatile one, so if we don't have the vampire one, then we could use this. Beast, no. Spectre, no. Would have been helpful. Oh, there's vampire, and it's enhanced as well. Okay, wait, it's 25% for that? And then Hanged Man's Venom is also 25? This has 40 charges. This has 40 charges. Why would you not just always use Hanged Man's Venom in that case? If it's just as good, but applies to basically everything? Is it just because theoretically at some point you would run out of charges on Hanged Man's Venom and then you would switch over to something else after that? That just seems a little odd to me. Hybrids, Ogroids, Arachnids, yeah. Alright, so either of these it would seem. I guess we'll go with the vampire one, because why not? And then Devil's Puffball might actually be that one that we have equipped at the moment. No, that's Dimeridium. In that case, we may not actually have it. Same Dancing Star. Dragon Stream, okay, we don't. So, we did upgrade our weapon, though, by putting that stuff on it. Now, I'm pretty sure this vampire is currently right in our face. Was. Okay, so we learned that Igni is apparently the way to go. Which we currently do not have. Ow. You are big. Hey, dude. Ow. You are, like, huge. You're like twice the size of us. Also, you sort of teleport, but not quite. That was supposed to be an Igni. We also did not have the charges up at the time. Yeah, this is hurting a lot. We might want to change our strategy a little bit here. Opt for Quen instead. And it appears to be down. Green Mutagen, Monster Tongue, Vampire Fang, Monster Ear, and Ekimara Hide. Okay. So, yeah. Wasn't really expecting that. Yes, some kind of more powerful enemy of some sort. But that kind of took a strong turn for the different. by going vampire instead. Slaughter of Sintra. Not sure if we read that. The cavalcade of riders pounded across the blood-soaked courtyard. They looked at no one and asked no questions. They knew exactly where they were going and why. To kill the old queen and capture the Cintran princess. As what would become of her after that, no one would say. Calanth, and a group of her most royal subjects had barricaded themselves inside the castle. They were protected by stone walls and a gate sealed by a spell. They all realized neither would last long against a concentrated assault by the Nilfgaardian army and the mages supporting it. After 4 days, enemy soldiers forced their way inside. I wasn't sure if that was going to be a reference to the Nilfgaardians attacking. Originally, I thought it was going to be the Wild Hunt. Okay. That was just the bad sword there. Huh? Is that an Ard sign that's telling us to? Yeah. Well, that's the way. Oh, we could have blown that up. That was the way we were supposed to walk through here rather than trying to jump over it. That makes much more sense. That was very difficult to jump over. Also, the ring in which we were expecting to find our primary loot is close to reaching its end here. I am noticing, which is a little alarming. Does that mean we are about to run into it? Or does it mean that we have actually passed it and missed it? Not entirely sure. Sometimes these circles update when we make it further along. This looks like it has special floaty sparkles around it, though. So maybe this is the one we're looking for. I think this is the one we're looking for. Richard George's journal. And then lots and lots of Griffin diagrams. Let's read the journal. Having heard rumors of a dragon, I raced at full speed to Velen. Uh-oh. Hopefully there aren't too many dragons. I mean, we've seen some draconoids, is that the right word? Some wyverns and basilisks and what have you. Not sure if we've seen a full-blown dragon, if that really is a distinction. I was dragged away from my hut by the prefects of Dor's Velen. They summoned me as an expert to solve the riddle of a string of shipwrecks suspected to be the work of night wraiths. We did recently, very recently, check out some shipwrecks with some night wraiths around them. Seems like a dragon ravaging the courtyard is a lower priority than blocked trade routes. Is it? That's sarcasm? Seems like it ought to be. Dragons, I would assume, typically take top priority. Luckily, I was able to solve the riddle of the lone lighthouse quickly and raced off after the dragon. I learned that the peasants from the ravaged villages had taken shelter in the elven catacombs under Lake Windammer. Wise. Yet they were not wise enough to bring firewood, and so warmed themselves by burning elven manuscripts. It aches my heart to think what knowledge about the Alder folk went up in those flames. At least a few of the manuscripts survived, including some highly interesting sketches of armor. Yet, enough about that. Eyewitnesses have reported ashen scales, height at Hotch's 2 fathoms, length 5 fathoms. I don't really know what a fathom is. Not in this context, at least. Addendum, estimated weight approximately 14 quintals. Also, no idea what that means. I'm assuming this thing is pretty huge. Able to maintain a high temperature in its bellows, dragon lungs, for longer than a quarter hour. Conclusion, we are dealing with a green dragon. Commencing hunt. In The Witcher 2, we learned about, I think it was a golden dragon? And that was about it. But I don't think we heard of any other colored dragons. I mean, by extension, we kind of assumed that there was some other dragons that existed. Otherwise, it would not be terribly meaningful to distinguish the color. Okay, so there's something else here? There is, yes, a little bit here. Ballads and hymns, I don't think we've seen that. So let's read it. The Wolf and Storm. These scars long have yearned for your tender caress. To bind our fortunes, damn what the stars own. Rend my heart open, then your love profess. A winding, weaving fate to which we grope alone. The tone. Oh, have we read this? Well, I remember seeing something that had a chorus. You free my dream from the morning. Your scent, airy start. Yes, we have. Okay. I do remember that, actually. So, let's carry on here. I'm not sure what else we're going to run into. That seemed to be the primary thing we were looking for. Find all the diagrams to the Griffin School. We only have 4 of 6. Okay, so there are theoretically more in that case. Search the room of the fortress by the lighthouse. Oh, there might be additional ones in other places based on what that journal entry was telling us. Seems like this might be about to lead us outside. Possibly? We've seen...
Someone placed an illusion here.
Ah, yes! I do remember. We saw an indicator that looked like that star thing that we saw ever so briefly there previously. And you guys were saying at one point that we could go back to some of those previous locations we've been to and dispel some of those illusions. And so I'm assuming... Ooh, that's rather unpleasant. It is red, though, which usually means it's a quest item. There's no way to interact with it, which is odd. I wonder if maybe at a later date we'll have reason to come back here. I also hear something. Some kind of monster, but I don't see where it's supposed to be. It sounds a little bit odd. It doesn't sound like our usual ones. Okay, but I do think we already have the locations of those other areas that got noted, or at least alluded to. Oh! In that journal entry. We did check out this area, I think, ever so briefly. And just go right here. Oh no, there was another one that looked like this. An island. A little stairway, or, well, bridge leading up to it. And there was dragons circling around it. Maybe it was this one, but I thought there was a fast travel location right next to it. But I think that's going to be the place with the dragon. And then the other one is way over here. This is the one I'm thinking of. Similar situation. Small island with a bridge next to it. This one definitely has dragons circling it and has a fast travel location right next to it. Okay. Fortunately, there is a fast travel spot right there, so that does mean we could beam ourselves up right next to it. The other one, we may not have actually been to that location in that case. I mean, where we are right now. Unfortunately, as we are now on the other side of that mountain, we are no longer terribly close to the Dragon Slayer's grotto, so it might actually be faster for us to just go to Downwarren from here. Let's try that, maybe. Oh, there's another herb of sorts. There we go. What is this? Is this a tree stump? Okay, it's... For a second I thought it was some kind of monolith of sorts. Ooh. It's a bit of a drop-off. I think we have explored this river a little bit on our way over to Bog. This is where we saw that harpy nest where we preemptively got the items that were going to give us Johnny's voice back. Okay. Now we're in Downwarren, which means we should probably sheath this. And do we try to do the main quest right now? Or do we try to finish up the Griffin School armor stuff? I feel like we should finish up the Griffin School stuff, because I feel like we have some of the good things, but we are hopefully about to get some other very good things. Let's actually double check. Well, I was going to say let's double check what the level is, to see if suddenly we're looking at what will be more difficult opponents here. I'm assuming that it is technically still the same quest, so the same level requirement or suggestion would still apply. That's the dragon I was referring to. We have actually fought a few wyverns and enemies of that type, but they seem to range a ton in terms of level. So, based on how we have a quest that is saying it's only level 11, that would seem to suggest that we're not going to get absolutely butchered here, but we may. Also, how do we get there? And could we maybe, like, get this dragon's attention and bring it over here so that we don't have to fight it when we're very much, you know, not in a position to fight it? It's like, maybe, here's what we do. I think we save now. We deliberately pick a fight with the dragon, see just how strong this thing is. I would like to, ideally, shoot a crossbow bolt at it in order to get it to chase us over here, but not sure we're going to have... This is as high an angle as I can shoot. Geralt apparently is allergic to looking straight up. I doubt we have the range to actually hit it from there. So that might be wishful thinking. There is also a place of power down there, which is intriguing. We've not yet taken it, but it looked rather difficult to get to, given how, oh boy, you know, we almost dropped to our death there. And likewise here, yeah, just go with it, apparently. There do appear to be drowners of some variety guarding it.
Medallion's humming. Place of power. It's gotta be.
Okay, well, we did get it. So that's cool. And remind me, the ability point, is that actually like a skill point? Or is that something entirely different? No, it appears to basically be the same stuff you get when you level up. So, yeah, that makes sense why that's so meaningful to target that stuff. We, however, do not currently have another slot available to us. Won't get one until level 22. It's 15 actually is the next one. Okay, so we'll have to wait a little bit, but we're fairly close. So that might mean that we, at least for the time being, prefer not to pick a new skill. Might be better to upgrade an existing skill. What about Delusion? This one is the Axii-based skill. At the current level, targets don't move towards us when we're casting Axii, because it does take a little bit. But it also increases the effectiveness of Axii in dialogues. And I think a while ago you guys were saying that that is actually surprisingly very good. I suppose maybe that's not so surprising, but it is very good. And so we might want to make a committed effort to leveling this up as much as we can, as early as we can. So this might be a good time to do it. What would the alternatives be? We were to say improve Yurden. That was mostly, I feel like, something that we opted to use when we were fighting a lot of wraiths, and might have been a bit of an overreaction. Not sure how much we want to invest in this long term. I don't think I've gotten much word about people saying that this is something we ought to prioritize. Melt armor on Igni would be nice. I feel like that might be a little bit more of a long-term thing, though, given how people have been saying that getting the fully upgraded, or at least heavily upgraded Quen is very good. So that was something we targeted early, as well as Axii, like I was saying. These are the things that I think I've heard the most. So I'm leaning that way. Maybe afterwards we'd go Igni. Let's just take a quick look at some of the other things here. We would need to spend more points to be able to allocate attack-based, or more advanced attack-based skills here. And I deliberately went for the fast attack. I tend to use the fast attack far and away most often. But we could theoretically go for the strong attack upgrades. The arrow deflection seems a little gimmicky to me, but maybe it's amazing. I'm slowed by an additional 15% while aiming the crossbow. That could actually be very helpful for the very annoying crossbow sections, but maybe that's mostly just a quality of life thing and not so much a crucial detail. We'll see. Adrenaline points lost upon taking damage is lowered. I don't think we yet have any actual purpose for the adrenaline points. We can get them, but I don't think we have any way of actually putting them to use. So I think, in that case, let's upgrade this. We do have it equipped right now, we do. Okay, yes, so we have a more powerful Axie. I think that's fine. There are, as I was saying, definitely enemies in here, in this water. And how the heck do we get up there? Can we climb this thing? Because it doesn't really look like it. Oh, maybe we can. Geralt the Mountain Goat? Try, but I have my doubts. Is the dragon choosing this opportunity to fight us? If so, then I'm not a fan. And this is probably going to get us killed. Trying to jump up in locations where I'm fairly certain we are not supposed to be trying to jump up. You know, we should probably take the hint, but I was pretty certain that there was not an angle to approach from the bridge. This is also looking... Let's just make sure we're not about to get consumed by a sea monster if we go out here. One of those, like, pseudo end-of-the-world things that have having you hit an invisible wall. Like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna have this level 1000 enemy pop up out of nowhere and eat you in one bite.